Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Aftermath is the name of the movie. Special thanks to everyone for the support. Please like and subscribe to get every update. We see a man named Josh inside a university as he rushes to pack his things. He takes all his belongings and puts them in a box. Then he exits the office, and we see others acting just like him. Josh said goodbye to one of his co-workers, got in his car, and headed to his house. In the background, a television news program is being broadcast. He predicted there would be solar storms and bad weather in many parts of the United States. Josh tries to call his wife Karen, but he couldn't contact them because of signal problems. Meanwhile, we see Karen at home with her son as they both discuss career opportunities for Matt. Afterwards, Karen asked him to help her with housework, and then we met two young girls. In the house, Dana and Brianna, Karen and Josh's daughter. Brianna tells Dana to keep it a secret because she is going to Seattle at night, but Dana is not happy with her decision and stops her because of the bad weather and power outage in the area for days. Then she told Brianna not to chase a guy just because he said he liked her, but said she was old enough to make that decision. In the meantime, along the way, Josh sees a strange truck parked on the street, and behind the truck are two strange men with guns and weapons. Josh found this extremely scary and ran away back home. He told everyone to go inside and informed them that a storm was approaching. The storm was coming and taking everything within its reach, and everything we heard was screaming came from inside the house as strong winds shook everything in their path. In the morning, when the family went out to check the weather, they saw hundreds of dead fish lying on their lawn. Everyone was horrified at the scene because it seemed impossible. Suddenly a car pulls up, and we see Josh's police friend Earl inside. He asks them if they're okay after last night's storm, and Josh shows him the fish in the beach's lawn. Then Earl told Josh that he had hundreds of dead snakes in his lawn, so Josh should be grateful that he only had fish. After he gave him a flyer about the 3 students missing from his college. He told him that one of them, he was his sister's son, and they went camping last night, but no one heard anything about them from there. He also shared details about the green SUV they were driving with license plate RVL 6768. During this time, Karen went to meet Earl and asked him about the strange guy sitting in his car. Earl told him that he was only helping him because he had seen him walking around earlier, while the strange guy started talking and told them that his brother was skinning his wife alive himself, and the police shot him because this made everyone suspicious. But Earl stopped him and decided to leave. When everyone went inside the house, strong wind started blowing, bringing some strange objects on the lawn theirs as well as the back of the green SUV that Earl mentioned earlier when the family was having a peaceful dinner, when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Josh went to check and found Earl's nephew at the door. He told Josh that he needed help, so Josh invited him over and treated him to dinner. He started eating viciously, and everyone was disgusted with his behavior when they saw this. Matt tries to ask him to behave, but he growls at him and his pupils suddenly turn white. He then attacks Matt and Karen, but Matt gets the gun just in time and she shoots. Suddenly a strange spirit appeared from his body and left the house. This terrified everyone, and Karen decided to go to the nearest police station for help. When she arrived at the station, she found it dark and empty. She started looking around, and as soon as she got close to a cell, someone pulled her from inside and attacked her. During the struggle, Karen managed to get a handgun and shot the man in the cell. Then she went home, but another strange man came with her to their lawn and saw this. Josh took the gun and shot the guy dead, and he escaped. After that, the family locked the entire house and decided to stay in the house until they figured everything out. Josh and Matt decided to clean the lawn while the girls were inside. Suddenly someone broke into the house and started pulling Brianna out. As Brianna screamed, the family tried to reach her, but the man flew through the air and took Brianna with him. Then the family decided to move on. They loading a truck with everything they needed and heading northeast. Along the way, they stopped at a gas station and found a strange man who offered to fill up the tank while he started cleaning the front windows in front of them, but instead it was covered in blood. Then he took out a human head and started rubbing it on their window, pouring more blood. This scared everyone and they ran away. The man started shooting at them from behind. Suddenly fuel spilled onto the ground and caught fire, burning the man alive. Dana was terrified and began to panic, but Karen calmed her down. Meanwhile, they hear a radio broadcast about a location called Yamaka, where there is food and shelter for the survivors. The family decides to go to Yamaka and find Brianna there, while we see Brianna when she wakes up in the middle of the forest. She sees that the man who brought her here is lying next to her and he is injured. The man asks who she is and why she brought him here. Brianna was confused by his words and told him that he was the one who brought her here and told him to stay away from her. The solar storm begins and we see chaos in the city as people run to save themselves. Then we see Brianna hiding under a bus. She falls in a miserable state and started looking for help, while a woman called her and told her to do so. Getting in the car, Brianna was hesitant at first, but then she told him she was going to Seattle, so Brianna didn't think twice about it as the family was traveling when they immediately saw one of these crazy men is chasing a girl near Karen. Get out of the car and follow him with a gun. When he sees this, Josh follows with a shotgun. Karen shoots the guy, but he throws her to the ground and starts strangling her. In the meantime, Josh comes and shoots him in the head, causing the spirit to leave. Some people from other vehicles also came out to witness the scene. Josh and Karen realize that there are spirits hanging around them that can possess people's bodies and make them do things. However, Dana still doesn't want to believe it and calls it a legend. Suddenly they heard Brianna's voice as she briefly tried to connect with her family thanks to the signal. She informed her mother that she was going to Seattle with a woman who helped her. Karen tells her to go to her grandfather's house and they will meet her there. Then the signal is lost and the call disconnects. It is revealed that Brianna and the woman with her stopped to wait for friends Ms. Dell. She told Brianna that her car didn't have enough gas, so maybe not can go further. That's why they will wait for Dell. Suddenly they noticed a car parked near them, and when they went to investigate they found Dell dead inside. Seeing this, the woman asked to go get some fresh air and Brianna started to investigate the car. Suddenly she hears a gunshot and goes to check on the woman with her. She finds her dead inside one of the restrooms. As it seems like she has taken her own life, Brianna now decides to take matters into her own hands. She takes her gun and bag and gets back inside the car. But it does not start then. She decides to continue her journey on foot. Meanwhile, we see the family has stopped at a place to get some rest. During this, a man from another vehicle named Vince comes to ask for help as he needs some gas. Karen agrees to help him, and it is revealed that his son Donnie and Matt know each other from school. While both of them are talking, something strange happens to Donnie and he goes numb for a while. When Matt asks him about it, he knocks it off and leaves. Suddenly Karen gets a message from her sister Sally that she needs help. Karen decides to take Vince's car to go get her, while he and his son Donnie can travel in their van. As Karen reaches Sally's place, she finds her getting shot at by other people because she messed up with their chickens. Karen gets mad at her for not minding her own business and gets her out of there. Then we see Brianna, who is tired from walking, so she decides to get some rest at a bench nearby. She tries to sleep, but suddenly someone comes there and throws her out of the bench. It's a girl named Tatiana. She says that she was just making sure Brianna was not another maniac. She tells Brianna that she is going to Seattle and asks her to join her. Brianna agrees to this as she knows she cannot survive this alone. They both talk about their personal lives on their way, and Tatiana gets to know that Brianna's phone is still working. She asks her to allow her to use the phone to call her boyfriend, but Brianna says that she is saving her battery, so she cannot let her use it. Meanwhile, the family makes another stop and Dana goes to use the bathroom. During this, Donnie comes to Matt and throws rugby at him. He then tries to attack Matt, but Matt dodges him and throws him down, which dislocates his shoulder. Then Donnie gets up and begins eating from trash, and it confirms to Matt that he is a skinwalker, the one who is possessed by evil spirits. During the, Sally and Karen get back and Sally notices Donnie's dislocated shoulder. She offers to help him and takes him inside the van. She asks Matt to hold him down for a while, but Matt says he does not want to do it. Seeing this, Karen helps Donnie, and to their surprise, it does not hurt Donnie at all, which is quite unusual. Then we see a huge solar storm hitting the earth, which fries all the electric components. Due to this, Vince's car stops working and he asks Karen and Josh for help. Meanwhile, Tatiana and Brianna get into a fight for Brianna's phone. Tatiana hits her, pushes her to the ground, and runs away with her phone. Brianna follows her with her gun and takes her phone back. Then she leaves Tatiana behind and continues her journey on her own. Then Vince asks Karen to let Donnie and him travel with them in their van. Matt tries to stop them, but Karen agrees. However, as soon as Donnie comes inside the van, he begins acting weirdly and runs out into the jungle. Vince goes after him and Matt follows behind with a gun. After a little chase, Matt catches him and confronts his demon, but as soon as he attacks Matt, Matt shoots him dead. During this, Vince and Karen reach the place and Vince blames Matt for the death of his son. After this, they hear an eerie screeching voice coming from the jungle and get scared. We then see Brianna as she finds a horse in a nearby barn. She goes to him and tries to calm him down, but suddenly a giant creature comes and takes the horse with him. This Brianna was very scared because she had never seen anything like it. Karen woke up. Seeing that Josh and the others in the car were gone, she went outside and saw them investigating a few cars up ahead. Without anyone inside, it was like everyone just disappeared. Then they went to Grandpa's house and found him also gone while they looked around. Sally decides to take care of the vegetable garden to grow their own food if they want to live here. She asks Dana for help, but Dana is distracted by the noise of her grandfather's dog. She intends to let the dog out but is attacked by it and bit his hand. The dog was rabid, so everyone decided to take Dana to a nearby clinic, but Matt decided to stay home in case Brianna went there. When they arrived at the medical store, they found medicine and decided to go back, but suddenly someone came. Karen hid behind a pillar and pushed the man down. They find out it is Dr. Rollins and they know each other. They told the doctor about Dana's condition and he offered to help them. Dr. Rollins helps Dana inject the medicine and leaves. Help the others while Matt also hears a strange noise coming from the basement. He takes his shotgun and goes to investigate only to find a naked woman there. She begs for help and Matt offers to protect him. She tells him that her husband is coming, picks her up, but Matt assures her that she is safe here. Then we see Brianna seeing a group of men in the woods and asking them for food. However, the men have bad intentions towards her, so she pulled out her gun and shot one of them. Two siblings named Mary and Devin arrive there in their Jeep and offer to help Brianna get out of there. Brianna joined them and went to their house. Then the family went to a convenience store to buy supplies and found 2 full boxes of tetracycline there as they left. Josh also found an old bottle of scotch and some cyanide, and he suddenly took them with him. Hearing other armed people entering the store, they decided to leave, but the armed people warned them and asked them to put the tetracycline back. This led to a fight between the two groups until they took action against Dana and threatened her family. Now Josh thinks of a plan and decides to go meet them alone. As he enters the store, he gives the bag of tetracycline to the group, but before that he asks them to let his daughter go or else he will blow up the place with explosives in the other bag. Seeing this, the men allow Dana to leave and Josh to deliver the drugs, but then he gives them several shots from an old bottle of scotch he found earlier. Both the group was very happy and accepted the injection. After a while their mouths started bubbling and gasping but dead. It is revealed that Josh mixed cyanide into the bottle. Dana was terrified when she saw this, but Josh told her that it was a means of survival. While Matt heard a knock on the door, and it was the girl's husband who came to pick her up. Matt fights him and shot him several times. This caused the man to burst like a water balloon and Matt was drenched. He asked the girl who she was and what had just happened to her husband. The girl took her to her grandfather's room and took a strange symbol from his desk. She claimed it was hers and she went to get it. Then she told Matt that her grandfather always owns everything, and Matt asks if she knows her grandfather. Then she thanks Matt for protecting her and tries to get intimate with him, but Matt stops her. This impresses her and she asked Matt to turn around and closed her eyes. When Matt turned around, she said that she would give him what he wanted most in the world, a demonic voice, and disappeared. Matt was confused but decided to wait for Brianna. Meanwhile, Brianna went to Mary and Devin's house, but Mary didn't like her behavior because she swore a lot. However, Devin seemed to be attracted to her. He was nice to Brianna and took food as well as everything she needed. Then she asked him to take him to her grandfather's house, but suddenly they heard the creature before deciding to hide in the barn and saw the winged creature. Everyone blames Brianna and thinks she brought the curse. When they thought the creature was gone, they went out to the barn to check, but suddenly the creature came back and Brianna told everyone to get on the ground and stand still. Everyone followed her and the creature didn't touch them. In the morning, a strange man who appears to be their leader, Reverend Brother, arrives and everyone tells him about Brianna and how she can control a creature. Devin tries to defend Brianna, calling it nonsense, but the Reverend says he will see her later. While Brianna tries to contact Matt and shares her address with him, then Josh comes to see Matt and informs them of Brianna's location and they decide to go get her. Devin and Brianna talk about how everyone around them doesn't like her, but Devin assures her that he likes her because of this woman. Comes in and tells Devin to do some work and blames Brianna for luring Devin towards her. She took Brianna into a room and locked her there until the Reverend called her into the room. Brianna decided to take a shower while Devin watched her from the window during this time. The family notices bodies on the road and Sally goes to investigate. When she examines one of the bodies, a parasite crawls and enters Sally's body, so they decide to examine the bodies instead of touching and remove them from the way as they move forward. They find a locked community where infected people are being held, but since this is the shortest route to Brian, Karen decides to break the barrier using a truck, causing the truck to break down, and they decided to stay low and fix it up inside. A building in this alley develops some kind of skin infection, so Karen asks Matt and Dana to find Dr. Rollins. She thought she was definitely with the infected community, so they would definitely find him there while Matt and Dana left. Matt teaches her how to use weapons and be brave to survive while Brianna meets the Reverend, and he asks to be alone with her for a while. When alone with Brianna, he appears in his demon form and attack Brianna begins to scream. And a woman comes to the woman accusing Brianna of being evil and demanding that she be locked in a warehouse until her fate is decided. Brianna is now taken to the warehouse and locked up while Matt and Dana meet with the infected and ask them about Dr. Rollins. These people asked Matt to come, and when he got close to the fence they grabbed him. Matt asked Dana to get a gun and shoot them. Dana hesitated at first, but then she shot them and they let go of Matt while the gunman came to a car and demanded that Matt and Dana should move out. They checked them to see if they were sick, and after satisfied their hearts will ask about their family. Dana told them about their aunt's illness, and the man asked them to take them back to their family. Now Matt and Dana are brought to meet their families when they arrive at the building. Karen hides the gun. As the others retreat before these armed men, Karen recognizes the man from her training unit and the man recognizes her, which eases the tension between them. They decide to take them to Dr. Rollins. They inform him about Aunt Sally's situation, and Dr. Rollins decides to help them when he examines Sally. He catches the parasite crawling under her skin and remove it on the parasites multiply, and they have no choice but to lock them inside while the infected people in the community come and gather outside the building. Seeing this, Dr. Rollins distracted them and allowed Karen and his family to escape. As they escape, Sally decides to stay and take Dr. Rollins' place. When he is killed by the infected, she says goodbye to Karen and joins Dr. Rollins' group of gunmen. Meanwhile, Devin visits Brianna and asks if she's okay in the barn. Brianna talks to him for a while and tells him that the Reverend is being killed. The real demon then Brianna asks him to get her gun at first. Devin doesn't believe her, but then he notices that the Reverend is acting strangely, and believing Brianna, he returns her gun and helps her escape from the warehouse. After the Reverend arrives warehouse and saw that Brianna was gone, he got angry and followed his scent. They ran into the woods, but the Reverend followed them on the way. Devin confesses his love for Brianna, and they share an intimate moment together. Then they start walking towards the road where Brianna sees her family approaching. The truck, everyone was happy to finally meet each other, but suddenly the priest came and attacked Brianna. Devin tried to help her, but the priest was very strong and threw Devin. Then Brianna pulled out a gun and shot the priest. Then the demon possessor left her body. Meanwhile, Matt, Josh, and others also came to help Brianna. The family united and Brianna breathed a sigh of relief. She introduced Devin to everyone and told them that he saved her life. And they decide to go to their next destination, which is a safe place to stay and hide while they figure things out. But as they are leaving, suddenly a car armed with guns and men comes and started shooting at them. Everyone got on the ground to save themselves while Josh took charge of the trucks and drove them safely. It is not revealed who these shooters are or why they were following the family, but right now their only goal is to kill everyone in the car. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.